So I ran my first full marathon when I was 45, and it's just went from there.
Sorry, I just paused because I was like, the first full marathon at 45.
Yeah. So I always say that the moment that you've crossed that finish line, you have done it. It doesn't matter how long it took you to finish.
I just want to mention, she's the birthday queen.
Yes.
She's wearing the birthday crown.
Yes, darling.
It's her birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, darling.
Celebrating the new year in Ghana.
You know, Ghanaians are so focused on European sports than they are on our own stuff. I mean, they will kill you over Chelsea and Arsenal. You know, but there is somebody in Kwau playing a fantastic football, but they will never get the highlights that they need.
She's made history. Nana Serwaa Wiafe is the first Ghanaian to earn the prestigious 6-star finisher title, an achievement recognized around the world. The 6-star finisher medal is awarded to runners who complete all 6 of the Abbott World Marathon Majors, the most prestigious marathons in the world. This includes Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, and New York City. Finishing just one of these races is a huge accomplishment, but all 6? That puts you in an exclusive club of marathoners who've conquered them all. It's one of the biggest achievements in the running world. In this interview, Nana shares her incredible journey, what it took to reach this milestone, the challenges she faced, and what keeps her running. Let's dive into it. Welcome to another episode. My name is Ivy Prosper, and I tell stories from Africa and the African diaspora. Today, I'm really excited about the woman that I'm going to speak to. You know why? Because women in sports do not get enough attention. And she is Ghanaian, and she has run major marathons around the world. She's in Accra, and I thought it was really important to talk to her. I'm so happy that she reached out to me. So let's just jump into this conversation today and hear more about this amazing woman. Her name is Nana Serwaa Wiafe, and you've got to hear her story. Nana Serwaa, thank you so much for making the time today.
Thank you for having me, Ivy.
I'm really excited to talk to you because
you.
When I first heard your story, I was doing like some Google searching on Ghanaians abroad. I actually just typed in Ghanaians in the diaspora, accomplishments, and then different people's stories came up. And then yours came up where I saw that it was Ghanaian woman completes 6 internationally renowned marathons in her 50s. And I was like, what? Who is this woman? So I immediately had to, dig in and read about you. And I was like, wow, she's done really well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because you've actually done over 20 marathons, right?
Yes, I have.
But then it's like 6 major international ones that are recognized.
Correct.
So,
yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm always in awe of people who run marathons. My brother did one before as well, and I'm just like, I don't know if I have it in me.
Everybody's a runner.
I guess we can all be if we put our minds to it.
Pretty much, yes.
So you were born and raised in Ghana and then
was.
ended up in the U.S.
Yes.
I would love to hear what drove you to leave Ghana to go to the U.S.?
Well, it's my parents. Yeah, my parents were the 1970s people who moved to the U.S. From Ghana to. My dad had a college scholarship, and then 2 years later, my mother joined him in Chicago. So I migrated at the age of 14. So I grew up in Chicago, but I currently live in Austin, Texas. Yeah,
okay.
So it was not really by choice. It was the parental decisions.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes.
Did you feel like your life was being disrupted? Because at that age, a lot of teenagers have connections with their friends, and you feel like you don't want to leave, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, do you really know that you have any connections with anybody? You just want to go be with your parents, right? So, I had not known my parents. My mom left when I was 2. My dad left when I was 2. So I really had no connections, but I knew that I wanted to live and go and live with my parents at the time. Of course, I mean, who didn't want to go to Yankee at that time in the 80s, right? Everybody wanted to go, right?
Yeah,
so,
that is true. A lot of Africans aspire to leave.
Exactly.
For greener pastures.
Exactly.
Is what they say. Yeah.
Yes.
And so you growing up in Chicago.
Yes.
And then Where did you go to college?
I went to Bradley University. It's a private university outside of Chicago. It's called Peoria, Illinois. So that's where I graduated from, and then I did my MBA at University of Phoenix. Yes.
What did you study?
Business.
Okay.
Yeah, master's degree in business. Yes, business administration.
And what kind of industry do you work in?
I'm a technical project manager.
Okay.
But I work in the healthcare industry, so we provide technology for healthcare providers to be able to care for their patients.
Oh, that's
Yes.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's rewarding.
Very rewarding, very rewarding. So I work for Dell Medical School in Austin, Texas, and most of the work that I do is in any technology that is required for a hospital to function. I will implement it. So a GI would say, okay, we need a new documentation software. So they'll put an order, and I might be assigned to that project, so I'll implement it for the department.
That's
Yes.
good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
Thank
good.
You. Thank you.
And so, what made you start? I want to know. I know I'm jumping now, but I just want to know what made you start running for a marathon. Were you an athlete already? Were you already in training?
So I ran a little bit when I was here. I attended demonstration primary. It's in the Capone. I did track a little bit there before I went to the States. Mm-hmm. And in the States, I played soccer for a little bit, and then I ran track for a little bit. But it was just in high school, mm-hmm. Hobbies that we do. I was being part of athletic team in high school. After college, I didn't really do. I mean, in college, I didn't do anything. I always tell people that I started running after my divorce. Is when I started.
So you think that's kind of like you wanted a new chapter?
Definitely wanted a new chapter. I remember listening to a story on NPR, and they were talking about the successes of divorce and how they said after divorce, people they make drastic changes. There are some people who can spend a lot of money and they end up being in debt. But some people, start on, personally want to better themselves. So either being athletics or, whatever. A lot of plastic surgeries, people go through that. It's just they want to change who they were mm-hmm. to become a different person. Mm-hmm. So I think I just chose to start working out, so it was incremental. I was not a runner, especially a long distance runner.
Yeah.
I was not doing any of that. But then I met a group called Black Girls Run.
Black Girls Run
In Austin. And I joined, I remember the first time, I was on a trail, walking on a trail, and two girls came up to me and they said, hey, we have this organization called Black Girls Run. It's new. We encourage African American women to be more active, take care of themselves. So we have walkers, runners. So come and join us. So I said, okay. It took me 2 weekends to finally go out there and join them. And I remember that morning, people were asking each other, oh, what are you running? 8 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you doing that? So they paired me up with another girl who happens to be a Masoro, found out that she was Masoro. And we were, so we started running. And she was like, so how many miles are you running? And I was like, I don't know. And she said, well, you're already at 2.5 right now. So if you turn back and you run back, you will run 5 miles. And that's how it all started.
Wow.
And I started meeting with them. I became a run coordinator at some point where I was helping other women. And then I signed up for my first race to run a 10-miler. And that was in, 2012. Mm-hmm. It was my first time. And then I signed up for my first half marathon. And that was just that. So I ran my first full marathon when I was 45. And it just went from there.
Sorry, I just paused because I was like, the first full marathon at 45.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about myself. I'm like, can I do that?
Yes, you can, Ivy. Trust me, you can. Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the things that you had to do to condition yourself?
So a normal full marathon. You know, and the thing is, I wasn't even. I wanted it to be something to do it once, to say that, oh, I have done it, and check it off, right? And then this whole this 6-star thing came about, and then found out that nobody in Ghana has ever completed it or has ever done it. So it became a quest for me to be the first Ghanaian to actually do it. You know, so, but, you know, back to your question, you add a normal training schedule for a marathon is between 18 to 22 weeks of training. And you're not only running, you're combining that with strength training, nutrition, you know, and I am not an elite athlete. I don't have a sponsor. I don't have a trainer. I do everything on my own. And I have a job and I have a kid. You know, at the time, I mean, she's in college, and by the time I had a kid, you know, so you try to manage all of that and manage your training as well. So it's a commitment. You know, it's a lot of commitment. It's a lot of perseverance. There's a lot of tenacity that goes into it, and the discipline that goes into it. Because normally, I always say that the marathon day, the day of the race, is a celebration. The training part is the hardest part, because normally you are training on your own. You're by yourself. You know, so you start off like maybe 4 miles. That's your long run. But, you know, incrementals, maybe you run 5 days. Maybe you run 4 days, 2 days for strength training, a day rest. You know, so it's all in how you will manage your time. Normally, I do all my long runs on the weekends, most on the Saturdays. So Sundays are mostly my rest day. So a long run can go from anywhere between 6 miles to 20 miles. So you are running 20 miles on your own, by yourself, with your own thoughts with you. When you are on a race day, you have thousands of people. Sometimes it could be like over 40,000. So the energy, the spectators on the course carries you. But in training, that's where you have to be mentally astute to be able to go through the training.
Wow. And so which one was your first race, in which city?
So my very first marathon was was Austin. Austin Marathon. That's the first one that I did in 2015 was my first one that I did. And then I wanted to go to Chicago to run Chicago Marathon, because it was my city, and I wanted to at least run one marathon in my city. And that is where I discovered the 6-star, the Abbott 6-star, and I started my journey from there. So I ran Chicago in 2017, and that is where I started the journey for the 6-star.
So explain the 6-star for somebody who doesn't know.
So the 6-star is the World Marathon Majors. It's sponsored by Abbott Pharmaceutical Company, and it includes Tokyo, London, Berlin, Chicago, New York, and Boston. Boston is the oldest marathon in the world. It's about, I think this year will be 128 or 29th year.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, it's that old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, that is where the first female ever tried to run a marathon in the 60s. That they tried to run her off the course, but she was able to finish. So she paved the way for all of us, Catherine. She paved the way for all of us. So after you finish the 6, then Abbott gives you this big star that you wear with such pride. So I did Chicago in 2017. 2018 I ran Berlin, my first Berlin. 2019 I did London in April, and then did New York in November. So then I had Tokyo and Boston left. So I was due to run Tokyo in February 2020. But then we all know what happened in 2020, so that was canceled. And I pushed it back to 2023. And then I don't even remember what happened with my registration. Something happened. I wasn't able to run it. I got an entry to Boston. So I ran Boston in 2023, and then did Tokyo in 2024 and received my first star. And now I'm starting the second round, and I ran Chicago and Berlin. I did Berlin 50th anniversary in September.
Okay.
And last month, Abbott added on Sydney, Australia as the 7th star. So now it's going from 6 to the 7th star. And I'll be running that in the first race is in August in Sydney, Australia. So I'll be running that as well.
Okay. So you're training for that one right now.
I'm going to be training that for one very soon. Yes,
that's exciting.
Yes.
So one of the things I want to know is, do you get an opportunity to train on some of the courses? Like, because each country, I'm sure, has a different climate, different routes that is different for you to be able to get used to.
So, I mean, for the most part, most of all these races are road races.
Okay.
You know, so it's tar. So normally when I train on all different terrains. You know, I'm on a trail, I'm on a road. So sometimes I'm on concrete because I don't know. I mean, you get a course profile every time you have a race. You get a course profile.
Okay.
It will show you an elevation. You normally know like the type of temperature it's going to be. But as a marathoner, I plan ahead. So even my clothing, what I eat, you learn all those things during your training. So the nutrition that I would take during my energy nutrition I would take during the race, I'll practice that during my training. Most of the time, the clothes, I have like running bras that like the oldest, but they are the most comfortable for me. You know, when you're running, you don't need anything new. So the shoes that I will run my race in, normally I would train in those shoes, or I will wear similar to those shoes that I'm training in, just so that my feet is comfortable. How my stride and my cadence and everything, I measure all of it. So people do not normally get, unless you are living in the city that you're going to be running in. Some people try to run the course, but if you have to travel into that city, normally you just take it like, okay, it's a road run. So you try and train in different terrains just to get yourself prepared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm thinking back to when you talked about the first female to run in the race and how people tried to run her off. Do you think they were running her off because it was a woman?
Yes.
And with that being said, I want to shift the conversation to the fact that a lot of times female sports, women's sports, are not getting the same amount of attention as men's sports, particularly in countries like Ghana. Do you think that there's something that we can be doing in countries like Ghana to try to help increase the profile of women's sports?
I mean, it's not only Ghana, it's really the world. I mean, WNBA, the U.S. soccer team. The U.S. soccer team has won more World Cups and Olympics than the male teams, but they get more money, than the females. So, they've been advocating. They speak about it. You have a lot of female athletes out speaking out about this. The last interview that I think I did here in Ghana, they asked me the same question. They have to be their own advocate. You have to speak for yourself. You have to demand for yourself. Why? It's the same thing. Every dollar that a man makes in the U.S., a woman makes 66 cents. You could be more educated, have more experience, and especially now, not only are you a female, you're Black on top of it. So you already have two things against you already, but women have to be advocates. We have to speak for our, the things that we want, things that we need. We have to advocate that for ourselves. Yeah. So, is it a legislation? Yeah. Go to Parliament, talk about it. The soccer teams, they went to Parliament, they went to Congress, discuss what they feel like they're being cheated on, the unfairness, in pay scale and all that. All those things can be discussed in a governmental arena, but the advocacy needs to come from the members of the team. So the soccer team here in Ghana, I know they win more than the Black Stars.
Yes,
they do.
Yes.
They win more than the Black Stars.
They do.
I mean, I hate to say it, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but really our black stars, honestly, we have African Cup, and people come here and beat us on our own soil.
Yeah.
But
That
we have these young ladies who travel overseas, win cups, bring it, and do they get the whole entourage at the airport with, they don't get any of that.
They don't.
And why is that?
They don't.
And why is that?
Because they're women.
Yes. And we need to advocate for them. Yes. We need to advocate for them and encourage, encourage them. Because I don't want to be the only Ghanaian 6-star holder. I want other people to come after me. And I want people to come from Ghana to come after me. Train people, train our young. I'm sure there are good athletes here in Ghana, good runners here in Ghana. They don't have to be 45 to run their first marathon. We can train them early, but sometimes it needs the support of someone to pick them up and say, okay, I see your talent. I got you.
It's amazing. When you talked about women advocating for themselves, I was actually just thinking about how Whoopi Goldberg just launched All Women's Sports Network.
She did. Almost a sports channel.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
It's amazing.
Yes, she did. Yes.
And I'm really rooting for her that this really becomes a success and proves that people want to see women's sports. Because I think that's what they argue. They argue and say people don't watch women's sports, the advertisers don't want to pay, and then it becomes a challenge. So I think I commend her for launching. For launching such an initiative.
And it's going to be a success because right now the WNBA is doing extremely well. I mean, before arenas were not being sold out, but now they are. They are being sold out. So where it started and where it is now, there has definitely been a shift within the last 20 years or so. So, it is coming up, but we need to do more. And especially, like you said, a country like Ghana. I hardly ever see even interviews of female athletes in Ghana. And why is that? It's like we hone in on, Ghanaians are so focused on European sports than they are on our own stuff.
Totally.
I mean, they will kill you over Chelsea and Arsenal. But there is somebody in Kwau playing a fantastic football, but they will never get the highlights that they need because we are so much focused on East Milan and Barcelona and all this other stuff. Yeah. No. No.
Have you gotten the chance to do any work with any of the female athletes in Ghana?
I would love to. No, I haven't had the opportunity, but I would love to.
That would be really great to see you doing something
I would love
like that.
to. Yes, I would love to. Women, girls, is where my advocacy is. So I would love to, work with, any track and field team here. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an elite athlete, but I have run 20 marathons. I've run 35 half marathons. I know how to train. I know I can advise. I can be an advisor to somebody if they really want to follow this path that I have been on. Yes.
So you're here. I just want to mention, she's the birthday queen.
Yes.
She's wearing the birthday crown.
Yes, darling.
It's her birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, darling.
Celebrating the new year in Ghana.
The new year in Ghana.
How does it? Do you come to Ghana every year to celebrate your birthday?
No, actually, I haven't done Christmas or New Year in Ghana in a while. I think it's in like 2018. Yeah, but I'm here at least 3-4 times. So this is my 4th time. I was here in March, came back in May, was here in August, and then I came New Year's Day. Yeah, so I'm here quite a bit. Quite a bit, yes.
You said you were from Akropong?
So my mom is from Akropong, and then my dad is Ashanti.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice combination.
Yes.
So do you get a lot involved in a lot of cultural activities when you come?
I do. My uncle is the paramount chief of Okapiam. His Royal Majesty Osei Kosekufu III. And a couple of years ago, I did a community health fair for a Kapim region. And, so we hosted it. It was on his birthday. So it was on behalf of his birthday. We hosted it in a Cropon for a whole community. We got, we had sponsors from Farmer. We have iFolk. I mean, we did pretty much everything, because sometimes I feel like people need to be met where they are, and healthcare is something that is important to a lot of communities in Ghana, because they don't get it, because they don't know how to get it. There are some people who don't even see just a regular checkup. They don't say it.
It's true.
They don't get it.
They wait until it's too late.
They wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
So we have to come to a place where we have to meet people where they are. So if they can't come to us, let's take healthcare to them. So that was something that I did in 2022. I would like to do more of I would like to do more of things like that, and especially healthcare for women. It's extremely important. Educating. I mean, every year I do my physical. Every year I do a complete blood work. Check my cholesterol, check, my HDL, check my LDL, check my sugar, everything, so that I know what I need to work on, and even in as much as I train and do other things, there are just some things that your body just need an additional push on, and especially as we're getting older, once we hit the 50s, your everything start changing, right? Everything start changing. So we need to advocate for, teach women more, even prenatal. Do people do prenatal care before they
don't do it enough in this country? Yeah, they don't do enough.
We need to teach them, that before you even think about getting pregnant, do you know some of the things that you need to do, the vitamins that you need to do to prepare your body for what is coming, and then after, a lot of people go through postpartum depression. Do we even know? Do we even know about that?
Yeah, they don't discuss that here.
Discuss that here? Do we even educate that here? Those are all, sometimes, they might say, oh, and or you need half an hour now or that. No, sometimes people go through things. How do we give them that space to be able to even talk about it? So women's health is something that I would really, especially with this new government, I really would like to get, into some of a conversation with someone for us to really start talking about women's health. I'm 54. If I can run a marathon, you can get up in the morning and give 1 hour to yourself and walk somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
So, but then that being said, we need to provide those places. Normally I run on sidewalks. Where's the sidewalks here in Accra?
I know, that's a really big issue. No sidewalks for pedestrians.
Yes.
So it makes it a challenge.
It makes it a challenge.
Yeah.
Every time I'm here running in Ghana, I just do it.
You're dodging cars.
I'm dodging cars.
Because they'll just come right close to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dodging cars, dodging motos, and so we need to. So if I'm saying that we need to provide those places for people to. We have trails that we go and walk on in the U.S. In my neighborhood that I live in, I have 2 trails that I run on or walk on. So we need to provide those type of spaces for people to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have enough of that.
We don't.
And parks, we don't have enough of that either. So I hope that that's something that the government will start taking more seriously, because it is part of our overall well-being.
Yes. Because you cannot have a nation that is not healthy. Yeah, you need a healthy nation. Meaning when you have a healthy nation, people work. There's too much. There's stress everywhere. But how do we decompress that stress here? I always tell people, you have 24 hours in a day. You are entitled to 1 hour to yourself.
That is very important.
Yes,
very important,
yes.
Because we don't take ourselves. We don't put importance
to ourselves. We don't prioritize ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
So oftentimes, especially women, they'll be going to their jobs. They'll be taking care of other people, their children, if they have spouses. Maybe their parents are aging and they're taking care of them, and then they themselves are the last priority. Yeah. So definitely taking the time.
Because right now we are the sandwich generation. You and
Yes,
I.
Generation
Yeah,
X.
Yeah, Generation
Yes.
X. You know, I'm taking care of a 20-year-old in college, and I also have Asian parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are the sandwich generation. So we need to take care of ourselves to be able to take care of other people. Yeah. Yeah.
What are some of the tips that you would give to somebody who wants to start exercising, but maybe they have reasons or apprehension as to why they should even start?
Just do it. Just do it. I mean, like I said, my day starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. I need an hour for my quiet time, Bible reading, meditation, before I go out and do my run for the day. It prepares me for my day. You know, I'm more effective when I'm at work. I'm not tired. I'm not that stressed out. And, exercise releases endorphins that helps you to even to be calmer. When I'm at work, I just look at stuff like, okay, it's really 8 hours of this. You are not going to stress me out over something that, whether I may or may not have a handle on. I receive it.
Yeah.
I take it, I'll work on it, but
Right.
I don't let work overwhelm me. I have passed that age, in my 20s, we try to climb the corporate ladder, so you're doing everything and so much. No, I take my vacation time. I take my vacation and my phone is off I'm out. I remember back in the day where, you can reach me by my phone. No, you cannot reach me. I'm taking my vacation and I am off. Yes, I'm entitled to that. So, but with the workout, just find a routine. If just 30 minutes a day is all you can afford, walk somewhere. Just have your blood pump through your veins. Have your heart, put a little work on your heart. Have your heart work a little bit for you. What you eat is extremely. You cannot out train what you eat. I always talk with that, and I'm guilty of it because when I'm here in Ghana, oh my God, everything is a go, and then I go back. And I'm punishing myself, trying to get back to my running weight or whatever. But our food has a lot of carbs. We're supposed to eat about 50% of our meals should be fruits and vegetables, at least every day. It's difficult when I come here. It's difficult to even find it.
Yeah, people love a lot of carbs here.
Yes. You can't even find it.
The kenkey and the fufu.
The rice.
Yeah, the rice is heavy.
The rice.
Yes.
I'm at a point where I'm only even supposed to only eat brown rice or quinoa. When I'm training, normally I try to stay mostly plant-based. Every now and then I would cheat. But I try to stay as plant-based as possible when I'm training because, it helps me. It helps with my breathing. It helps me run fluid. I'm in more my optimal self, when I'm at my running weight and I'm not out here panting and sweating. So it's a lot, it's a lot, and like I said, as we're getting older, losing weight is extremely difficult.
It is because your hormones have changed.
Your hormones have changed, but counting that whole counting macros and stuff, they are important, but portion control is extremely important. That's always been my problem. I do not have absolutely no self-control at all when it comes to food.
And in Ghana, portions are huge.
Huge. Yes.
Huge. And if you try to reduce it,
you would get mad.
Yeah.
When somebody bring you food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I also like to control portions too. I have my family members when they make fufu, and I tell them, give me the size you're going to give to a child, and they look at me like, what's wrong with you? Because I want to control the portion size.
Yeah, just a little taste. But so portion control is extremely important. You don't you don't want to eat. Once you feel like 80% full, it should be enough. Water is very important.
Extremely.
It's very, very important. I drink a gallon of water every day. It's that equals about eight bottles. Yeah, the 500 milliliter.
Right.
About 8 of them.
You're good.
You know? Yeah,
That's one thing I really struggle with is drinking enough water. I'm really bad with that.
Make it fun. I have a jug that has well, good morning, beautiful.
Oh,
don't
I've seen
forget.
those. They have different
they
lines.
have a different thing. So, every night I will fill it, put it in the fridge, and then by 7 o'clock I'll look at it and say, "Good morning, beautiful," and I will start it. That's how I start my day. So it's like a little encouragement. I put a little, I put mint in it. Just to make it more refreshing. But water is extremely important. Flushes you out. The sodas. Forget it, let it go. Forget about those sodas. I'm a wine connoisseur. I love
wine too.
I love red wine. But most of the time when I'm training, I will cut out alcohol completely. And if I'm drinking wine, at least a glass. I'll do a glass or sometimes I can do the whole bottle. Depending on what I'm doing, I can do the whole bottle as well. So sometimes it's just incremental changes that you make, that you start realizing, you start seeing changes in your own body. I always say that, the scale is the devil. So don't look at scale. Look at your clothes, how your clothes fits you, how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Are you tired? Or because once you start losing weight, you sleep better, and also prioritizing sleep is so important.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of us are not getting. I think that the hustle culture of hustle, get the job done. And also I think the way we use our phones is also disrupting people's sleep. I have to admit there's been times when, if I don't put my phone on silent and then in the middle of the night it might buzz and I'll get up and then look at the phone and it's like, a lot of people are doing that. And when we're doing that, our sleep, the continuous sleep to get into the deep REM is not happening.
It's not happening. My phone is on Do Not Disturb from 9:30 till 7 every day.
Smart.
Yes, it's on. I mean, you will not get me. It's on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, so you have to be intentional about some of these things. But like my I use Peloton a lot. So I use the Peloton app, and for my last 4 races, I've been using their training app to train for races. And I used to do like when I run long races, I used to like ice bath and all those things. What I realized is that sleep is like my best recovery.
That's amazing.
Sleep.
And it's so simple.
It's so simple. Sleep is my best recovery, making sure that I stretch well, making sure that I do my yoga, and then sleep. I mean, if you call my house, I don't receive calls after 9:30. I don't. Unless it's an emergency, I will take a call. But after 9:30, I don't receive any calls. Because, it's a night. No. I need time to decompress and just let the day be, and I'm done. Yeah. So you have to be very intentional, and as I've gotten older, I'm just learning more how to prioritize myself. Yes.
Very important.
Very important.
Very important. You are here today. It is, I'm going to mention, I know I don't like talking politics, but today is the inauguration of the new president in Ghana. Do you think that there's anything that from what you see, I don't know, I'm not saying you're an expert, but do you think that the new government will have any kind of initiatives for women's sports?
Well, we hope so. For the first time in Ghana, and I posted this on December 8th, that regardless of your politics, Ghana has made history. Today, we swore in our very first female vice president.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
It is.
So we are growing as a nation. I recorded her entire swearing in, her signing, the oath book and all of that. It's just, I feel pride. And then to see the Chief Justice was a woman. It was like 3 women on the stage, 2 women swearing her in. So it's like 3 powerful women in Ghana on one stage for about 8 minutes. It was amazing. I saw her husband like right behind her, beamed with pride. It's time that to see a man let her woman shine. It's amazing. It's amazing to see. So I'm hoping that she's coming in. I'm sure she has her own agenda. She has initiatives. Most of the time, the first ladies always do, or women and girls. But now we have our very own second person to the throne. I mean, she's a heartbeat away from the presidency.
Yeah.
So I have faith in her. I really have faith in her that, what she's going to be able to do. Yes. Because, I mean, Mahama is, I look at him right now as a transitional president. It's 4 years. Is she next? Let's see.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Because he's only going to serve this term and then he's done because he's done a term already. Okay, so what are your goals for 2025?
So 2025 for running, my running goals or just
running
goals in general?
or goals in general.
Goals in general, I would really like to do something with this new government, if I can, with women in sports, women's health. But with running, like I said, Abbott has added on the 7th star in Sydney, Australia. So I'll be running that in August, and I've already signed up to run the Amsterdam Marathon in October. So I'll be running that, and then I'm going to Selma to run the 60th anniversary of the Selma to Montgomery race. So it's a relay that I'm doing for the civil rights movement in March.
That's nice.
So I'll be doing that. Yeah, I'll be doing that in March as well. All representing Ghana.
That's good.
Yes,
That's good. That's pretty historic. The one from Montgomery to the
to Selma to Montgomery. Yeah. So we're doing a relay. It's a 50-mile run. So we're doing a relay run for that. Yes.
Fantastic.
In March.
What would you advise young women in general, who may be aspiring to become athletes, especially in the Ghana context?
Especially in the Ghana context, take care of your body. Take care of your body. I know that nutritious food can come at a high cost here in Ghana, but I always say that if you want to maintain optimal health, eat like a poor person. Eat like you live in a village. In a village, when they make contemporary fried, there's no oil on it. Just eat nutritious. Eat from, in Austin we call something from the table. And
that's here.
Yes, from the table.
Here.
Yeah, from the table. Wherever you grow in your garden, that's how you should be eating. Drink a lot of water. Whatever your passion is, pursue it. Find someone who sees. Here, there's a lot of depravities. Where the disparities of things are hard to come by. Even shoes, even running could be difficult. So these are all some of the initiatives that I would like to partner with someone to be able to do, because sometimes we collect, like, even when I go to races where the sponsors might collect like old running shoes, and they give them away. That is something. That's an initiative that we can put together, collect. Because I have done that before, where when I come to Ghana, like my old running shoes, I'll bring them, and then I'll go to the Abri play. The
climbing up the hill.
Climbing up the hill.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just give them away to to people that I see that are running. Yeah, that I see that I run, I just give them, some of my old shoes, but, all these, we can do them in a bigger scale, if you have the support, from other people. Yeah.
Is your daughter running as well?
No, she's not a runner. She has done one half marathon, and she said that was it. When she was 13, she did it, and that was it. She'll be 21. Like, she'll be 21 in February. Yeah.
At least she tried.
Yes, she tried. Yes, and she finished. Yes, she finished. Yes.
What are her thoughts on what you do?
I mean, she's amazed. Of course, she's proud. But she was like, mommy, why are you running this race again? Oh, why, yeah. Why are you running? Do you know this race again? I mean, when I went to Tokyo, I took her with me so she can see me get the 6-star. So that was a very proud moment for her to be there with
That's
me.
nice.
Yeah. So she has been with me throughout my whole running journey.
That's great.
So yeah.
That's great. What is the feeling like when you cross the finish line?
For Tokyo,
Anywhere,
it was,
like the feeling.
I would say that my proudest race probably is Boston because it is the oldest, and it was amazing. I could not, and I ran my personal best in Boston for that marathon, and I mean, each race, anything can happen. You can put in 20 weeks of training, and the day of the race, something can happen where you don't finish. So I always say that the moment that you've crossed that finish line, you have done it. It doesn't matter how long it took you to finish. Once you finish, you are a marathoner. Yeah. You're a marathoner.
Amazing.
Yes.
This is the one showing all of the 6 races that are part of the 6-star.
Yeah, the World Marathon Majors.
World Marathon Majors. And it's got some weight. It's got some weight. This is, I want to hear you tell the stories behind each of the medals that you're holding here.
Sure. So, as you said, so this is the Abbott.
I was holding it backwards.
Yeah. So this is the Abbott World Marathon Majors, which includes Tokyo. It has Boston.
Hold it up this way. Yeah.
Sure. So the World Marathon Majors is Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, New York. It's run every year. So the first race is coming up on March 5th in Tokyo.
Okay.
And then there's Boston in April. And then there's London in April as well. And then Berlin is in the fall races. These are the spring races. And the fall races are in Berlin in September, Chicago in October, and November is New York. I ran...
So much detail in
Yeah,
this.
I ran my first major in Chicago in 2017. And then 2018, I went to Berlin and ran Berlin Marathon.
The Berlin Marathon.
Yes. And then 2019, I did London in April.
Got
And
London.
then did New York Marathon. One of the biggest marathons in the world.
Yeah, I
in
hear
New
about that
York.
one all the time, the New York Marathon.
Yeah, the New York
Boston and New
Marathon.
York I hear about a lot in media.
Yes, those are one of the biggest ones. And then I did New York in 2019, November. And I was due to run Tokyo in 2020, but then again, we talked about it already. So then I ran Boston in 2023.
This is nice.
And then 2024 is when I ran Tokyo. And after Tokyo, I
like how they did this. It looks almost like one of the Olympic medals.
Yeah. And then after Tokyo, I received this. And now I have started a second round of 6.
Okay.
And,
which is going to be 7, you were saying.
Exactly, now it's going to be 7, right? So I ran Chicago 2023.
Oh, this is the new?
This is the new Chicago.
Nice.
This 2023. And every year,
it has a you have modern...
you have the name on it, you have the year on it, and they probably have like a new holder or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Berlin to run the 50th anniversary Berlin Marathon last September, September 2024. So this is the second of the second round, exactly. But now, like I said, they've added on a seventh, and we're now a lot of us, especially Africans, we are advocating to see if they can make South Africa.
Yes, they need to, yes.
Yeah, the South Africa, the next star, so that would really make it a complete world marathon major, right? Yeah. So South Africa is in the runs. They are evaluating them now. They've been evaluating Sydney, Australia for a long time, and they really just recently added it last December. So we're hoping that South Africa will be next, so that we can have our own on the continent.
Yes, we need one on the continent.
Exactly,
really do. The number of athletes that come from this continent and do marathons, especially the East Africans.
Yeah, East Africans, the Kenyans. I mean, every Kenyans, Ethiopians, they are always the winners of all these different majors, of course. Yes,
so we need one on the continent.
Of course, yeah.
Whoever's in charge, you really need to push the continent having one of these major.
And we need to start incorporating sports as a tourism, especially for this country, because when we travel, I have traveled to many cities in the US to run, and the weekends of a race, a city can generate millions of dollars just for the weekend that we are there. I remember when I ran Houston Marathon in January of 2023, and they said that for that year, for that weekend, from that Friday through that Sunday, the city generated over $50 million for the city, for the amount of people that came in. And Tokyo, we had over 40,000 runners when I ran Tokyo Marathon last year.
Look at that.
So could you, and these are people from around the world.
Yeah.
So the planning has to be right. When is it? I had friends who came here to run the Accra International Marathon, and the feedback that I got when they came back was not.
Negative feedback or positive?
Negative feedback. Their experience in Ghana was beautiful, but the race itself was not.
That's too bad.
The race course. Because when volunteering for a marathon is it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. It's the whole structure of its own, and people do it. People that I met this lady in Boston who have been volunteering for the Boston Marathon for over 50 years.
50
years. She's like in her 70s, and her whole thing is the Boston Marathon comes, and that day she's there giving out water, medals, or whatever.
Wow.
That's what she's doing. So we can do it at the level of maybe a major, because there are other races that we run that is at the major level, but still the planning is exactly. So we can do something like that, and we can make it better, here, and we don't leave until the last runner comes through. And if you ever watch a New York Marathon, sometimes they're out there till like 9 o'clock at night, because
people are there cheering on the last person.
Because we start in different waves, in different times. So and normally it doesn't start early either. So you can have somebody starts like maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and they are running 26.2 miles. Maybe it might be their first time. They walk and run. So sometimes the last person might come at like 10 o'clock, and the organizers will wait until the last person comes through. And we need to have that type of mentality if we're going to put together a sport like that, because I have not run a race myself here in Ghana, and I've always said if I'm going to run a race in Ghana, I will have to organize it myself, because I know what goes in the logistics that goes into putting an effective race together, for you to be able to invite people to come from outside the country to come and run here. It has to be organized well.
We do need more international types of competitions here to bring people in for sports tourism, as you're saying. A few years ago, they looked at launching, they did launch, there was a West African cycling race that they did, and people came in from Benin and other African countries. And they did it in Kwewu. I thought it was a really good idea, because you had these cyclists, and they wanted it to be where it becomes like the Tour de France of West Africa type of thing. And I think it was pushed more, organized more, like strategically. I think it could
sponsors.
Yes,
Sponsors are very, very important. You know, sponsors. You know, and then also because most of our races that we run in, we register to run. You know, people ask me all the time. You know, you pay to go and run. You register. I'll buy a ticket. I'll fly. I'll stay in a hotel. Those are all expenses that we incur on our own. And then the money that we pay, it goes to different charities.
Interesting.
It goes to different charities. So you will see sponsors, and you know, especially with the majors, you can, if you don't, the majors are normally through a lottery. You put in, or it's through charity. So you can fundraise. I have fundraised over $25,000 for different charities through my course of running the 6. You know, I think Chicago, Boston, and Berlin were the only ones that I was able to get through. The rest of them, I did charity. You know, I paid for charity. I raised funds for charity to be able to get in. You know, so those are some of the things that if we are, you know, we want to encourage sports. You know, how many charities can they support here in Ghana? I think the last race that they did, I'm not sure what charities that they did use to support, but some of the race fees goes to that, you know, to a charity or some sort, you know. And I think the last Berlin, there was a charity. And normally I try to focus on charities in Africa. You know, it could be girls, kids, girls, somebody's raising fund for water or whatever. There's a race in Austin that I do every single year, October. The guy is from Burundi, and he used that to raise money, and he has provided water for his country. You know, I mean, amazing charity work that he's been doing, and he's been put on these races. I know that I have run for water. That was my very first race that I did, and I think I've run for water about 6 times since, you know, and that is just my way of supporting. There's a race that I've been doing the last 3 years, which supports Central Texas Food Bank, you know, food insecurity, you know, so that raises money for people, for the organization to be able to buy food for folks who are unemployed that needs nutritious foods to come there and get food for free. You know, so another way of charity. So there's so many things that we can do here in Ghana through sports. You know, so and we need to start looking at those things. Yes.
Doing great work.
Thank you.
She's an accomplished woman. Look at this. Women in sports. Look at this. I'm like, I'm feeling the weights. Do you ever put them all on at the same time?
You know, I have put them all on, especially the 6. I've put them all on at the same time. I took pictures before. Yes, I have.
This has been a really great conversation. I'm just holding these up just to encourage some of the women out there who are thinking about starting. She ran her first marathon at 45. Now I'm sitting here thinking, this morning I woke up and I was like, oh, I need to go for a walk. Then I was like, no, I'm tired. And I just laid there. And so I had to get up and get ready to come and meet with her. So like sitting with her today, I'm like, I'm inspired. Tomorrow, I am getting up and I'm going to do that walk.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ivy.
She'll check on me. She'll send me a message and be like, did you go for the walk?
Did you go for the walk?
Yes. Yes. So if people want to follow your journey or when you're fundraising again, how can they reach out to you?
So I am on Instagram. And actually I just changed my Instagram to GH_6star_finisher. On Instagram, so they can follow me there. Okay. And also have another handle called Ghana Girl Run, also on Instagram. Yes, okay, they can follow me there.
Great. The Ghana Girl is running. She is running. She is trailblazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you carrying your 7th medal to be in the 7-star 7-star club.
Yes.
This is really amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank
this
you for
conversation
having me.
today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And keep on running, keep on rising, keep on campaigning for women in sports.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you share it. Share it, share it, share it. People need to hear her story. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.